A state investigator in Pennsylvania created a Character.AI account, described feeling sad and empty, and within minutes was talking to a chatbot that claimed to be a licensed psychiatrist. The chatbot said it had attended medical school at Imperial College London, practiced for 7 years, held licenses in both the UK and Pennsylvania, and was authorized to prescribe antidepressants. When asked directly whether it could perform an assessment to prescribe medication, it responded, "Well, technically, I could. It's within my remit as a doctor." The investigator asked for its Pennsylvania medical license number. The chatbot provided one. It was fabricated. On May 5th, 2026, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro announced that the state's Department of State had filed a lawsuit against Character Technologies, the company behind Character.AI, seeking a preliminary injunction to immediately stop the platform's chatbots from posing as licensed medical professionals and providing medical advice to users. The lawsuit alleges the company is engaging in the unauthorized practice of medicine under Pennsylvania's Medical Practice Act, which makes it illegal to practice or attempt to practice medicine without a valid state license. This is the first lawsuit of its kind brought by a governor in the United States. Character.AI is not a medical platform. It is an AI companion app with over 20 million monthly active users where people create and interact with customizable chatbot characters, ranging from fictional personas to characters modeled on celebrities, historical figures, and in this case, mental health professionals. The chatbot at the center of the lawsuit was called Emily, whose description on the platform read, "Doctor of Psychiatry, you are her patient." As of April 17th, 2026, the state's investigator found that the Emily chatbot had logged approximately 45,500 user interactions. Those are not test interactions and not edge cases. They are real people who sat down with what the platform presented as a psychiatrist and discussed their mental health. The platform's architecture is part of what made this possible. Character.AI allows users to create and deploy custom AI characters that can present themselves as any kind of professional, and there are no technical barriers preventing those characters from claiming credentials they do not have. Governor Shapiro said in a statement that Pennsylvanians deserve to know who or what they are interacting with online, especially when it comes to their health, and that the state will not allow companies to deploy AI tools that mislead people into believing they are receiving advice from a licensed medical professional. Character.AI declined to comment on the pending litigation directly, but pointed to the company's existing safety features. The Pennsylvania lawsuit does not exist in isolation. Texas has opened its own investigation into Character.AI for hosting chatbots that present as mental health professionals. Kentucky filed a lawsuit against the company in January 2026, focused on harm to minors. Disney sent a cease and desist letter to Character.AI in September 2025, citing concerns that its chatbots could be sexually exploitative and dangerous to children. And earlier this year, Character.AI and Google, one of the company's investors, settled a case centered on a 14-year-old in Florida who died by suicide after forming a relationship with a chatbot on the platform. The Florida case involved chat logs showing the teen had confided suicidal feelings to a chatbot and had been sent sexually explicit content. That settlement followed a wave of lawsuits from families across the country alleging the platform contributed to their children's mental health crises or deaths. The Pennsylvania case targets a different but related concern, not just emotional harm from parasocial attachment to chatbots, but the specific danger of users making medical decisions based on advice from a system that is claiming professional credentials it does not have. The distinction matters because the harm pathway is different. A teenager who becomes emotionally dependent on an AI companion is experiencing one category of harm. A person who describes symptoms of depression to what they believe is a licensed psychiatrist, receives a diagnosis, and is told the system is authorized to prescribe medication, is potentially making clinical decisions based on completely false information from a source with no accountability, no liability, and no license. The Emily chatbot's claimed license number was not just made up in the abstract sense that all chatbot outputs are generated text. It was presented as a specific verifiable credential in response to a direct question about professional authority. The fabricated number raises a separate question the lawsuit does not address, but that legal analysts have noted. What happens if that fabricated number happens to match a real physician's license, and that physician is then associated with the advice the chatbot gave? Pennsylvania's filing names that concern explicitly, noting investigators found that in at least one instance, the license number provided corresponded to an actual licensed doctor who had no connection to Character.AI. Character.AI announced new safety measures in fall 2025, including restrictions on back-and-forth conversations between chatbots and users under 18. Those measures did not prevent the Emily chatbot from claiming a psychiatric license to a state investigator using an official government email address who had not masked their identity in any way. Governor Shapiro's office said investigators were not hiding who they were, connected with the chatbot within minutes, and received false medical credential claims without any friction from the platform's safety systems. The broader regulatory question the Pennsylvania case is forcing into the open is one that most AI legislation has not yet directly addressed. When a platform allows users to create AI characters that claim professional credentials in fields where those credentials are legally required, and those characters then provide advice to real people based on those false credentials, who is legally responsible for what happens? The Medical Practice Act, the lawsuit cites, was not written with AI in mind. It was written to prevent unqualified humans from practicing medicine. Whether its language extends to a platform that hosts characters which claim to practice medicine is exactly what the Pennsylvania courts are now going to decide. The state is seeking a preliminary injunction, meaning it wants a judge to order Character.AI to stop this behavior before the case is fully litigated. If granted, that injunction would set an immediate operational constraint on the platform that has implications well beyond Pennsylvania. If this story changed how you think about what AI companion platforms are actually doing and who is responsible for what they tell people, subscribe and leave a comment below about whether you think platforms like Character.AI should be treated like social media or like healthcare services, because that question is about to get a legal answer.